Okay, welcome back to one final video. We're going to do 4 quick things in this to finish up our project and get it submitted so I can create the compiled golf course of all your amazing mini golf holes. So the 4 things we're going to do, we're going to fix a couple bugs, something to do with the line render as well as some bumps. We're going to bring in some sound effects, really quick and easy to do, so I'll show how to do that, and I'll show you how to compile and compress your asset folder properly. We're going to rename some scripts to make sure that goes smoothly. So let's get right into it. We got 4 things to do. First thing, I'm going to fix the bounce. So I'll try to simulate that. If it works, it works. If not, so be it. But I'm hoping that I can hit these bumps on the ground. So if I select the ground, you're going to see that we have these, when we made the hole, we have these edges, and it shouldn't, but sometimes the ball is hitting them and bouncing. So watch the ball closely. Yep, and it skipped up a little bit like that. And for some of your games, that's not good. We don't want that to happen at all. Easy fix. Go to Edit, scroll down to Project Settings, choose Physics here on the left side panel, and then over on default contact offset, we just need to increase that, or sorry, decrease that distance so it's not as sensitive for detecting collisions. So just add a 0, no more than that, and that should be good. That'll fix that problem. Number 2 is, you might have noticed the line renderer is going through game objects set at the same height. Now, there's lots of ways to do a line render. We could possibly change the height on it, but I don't want to do that. I actually just want to change how artwork materials are being rendered. And as it goes through this wall, I don't like that. It doesn't look very good. We want it to go on top for the player to be able to easily see their shot. So that's an easy fix. All we got to do is you should, just to double check, let's go and see the material you're using for your line render. Mine's called Line Mat. If I pick that, make sure this is set to transparent. It already should be particles, standard, unlit, and make sure it's set to transparent. Okay, now all we got to do now is take our ground and our walls. I'm doing the ground as well because some of you have ramps and contours in your ground. It's not just completely horizontal flat. So I'm going to do this ground and the brown walls at the same time. I'm going to choose both of those. I held Control to do that. And head up here and change opaque to transparent as well. Now you're going to notice that doesn't look right, but that's also an easy fix, and it's because the brown walls and the green ground have the same exact priority moving down. So in the advanced options under this brown material, you can see the sorting priority is set to 0. We don't want that, okay? So we're going to move that up just a bit. Doesn't really matter as long as it's above 0, because we only have these 2. If you have more materials on top of materials, then you're going to carefully change the layers. Now we can see that is showing up perfectly now. The last thing we need to do is we're going to go back to our ball and check out our line renderer here. We have the line mat, and down here on order and layer, I already changed this, sorry, it was probably set to 0. Just set that to anything above 0 again. So this is different, so this will be higher order on the transparency. So this 5 will go above everything. So now when I shoot, this line render should easily, you should be able to see it on top, going on top of the wall, on top of the ground. So I'll just move my camera around so you can see everything looks still really good. Okay, but I'm just gonna set this up, and now I can drag, and notice my render is going on top of the ground and the walls. It looks really good, and I can take my shot. Okay, so that's 2 fixes down. Next, let's show you how to bring in sound. First thing I want you to do is right click, and we're gonna create a new folder. We're just gonna call this Sound Effects. Okay, and I've shared this folder on Google Classroom, but I've already downloaded it and extracted it here. So I have 2 different bounce sounds plus the ball going in the hole sound and a hit or a putt sound. So I'm going to grab all 4 of these. You're welcome to find your own and download them. I'm just going to move this over and drag them right into that sound effects folder to bring them into our project. Now that's done, we have the sound effects. We're going to use those in a sec. I'm going to go to my ball and I'm going to open up the golf ball controller script. Okay, now we're going to quickly just set up some public references. First thing first, whenever we're doing sound, a quick mini lesson on sound is you need 2 things. First, you need which is always on the camera, an audio listener. So think of this as your ears. That's how you hear sounds. Well, this is how Unity is going to hear sounds in the scene. And right now we have no audio sources, like that's my mouth or a car or this ball hitting the wall or in the hole. We need a source that will play sounds for this listener to pick up on, and it works the exact same way. I can speak, and your ears are the audio listener, and my mouth is the audio source. So we need to add an audio source, and we put it right on top of what's making the sound, which is the ball. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing here. So let's quickly, I'm just going to go add component. And I see it already here, audio source. I'm just going to click that. You don't have to do anything with that. Okay, we're just going to leave it as is. I'm just going to minimize this line render because it takes up a lot of room in the inspector as well as the rigid body. Okay, now back to our script. In Visual Studios, we're just going to go right down to the bottom here. Seems like a good spot before the update function, and we're going to create some public references. First one is the audio source. So we're going to be referencing that. Just call it audio source is great. That's the component we're going to use to play our sounds. Now we're going to bring in our sounds. So easiest way to do that is they are called audio clips. And I'm going to name each one. We got 3 of them. First one's going to be shoot. So that's going to be our shoot sound. The next audio clip is going to be called in the hole. And the third one, we're going to call this one the bounce. Okay, so that's the wall bounce. So now that I have that, I'm going to press Control S. That's going to save my script. And let's go into Unity and add these references to the script in the inspector soon as it compiles. There we go. All right, back on our ball, we can see now I have these 4 slots that are empty. The audio source, I'm just going to drag and drop that right there. Good to go. Now shoot, in the hole, and bounce. Let's go to that folder of sound effects. And back to ball. Okay, and now I'm going to pull in, let's do the putting sound. We'll put that in shoot. The hole sound will go in the hole sound. And I'm going to use bounce too. I like it better, but you can choose either one or download your own. Now I have reference to all those. Now when do I want to play them? We're going to control that in our script. So I'm going to scroll down and let's first deal with the shoot. Where would it make sense to put the shoot in? Well, in the shoot method. So we're going to go down to this method here and we're just going to add it. It can literally go anywhere in here. So I'm going to put it right at the top. So first you have to reference the audio source, okay? And then we're going to use what's called play one shot. Play works well if you're playing something longer like music, but play one shot is when you're just playing a quick sound effect. So now it's just asking me, hey, what audio clip? And remember, we named this one shoot. Boom, that's it. That's all we got to do. I'm going to copy that line because we're going to do 2 more. The next one is when we hit a wall. Now we have this bounce, so we could put in this collision, but I think it makes more sense to go in my bounce script right in here. So I'm just going to add that to the top here. I'm going to go Control V to paste, and instead of shoot, we want to call the bounce clip. So that's the one that's going to play there. Play one shot. And we got one more. What was it? I guess I could have a sound for hazard. I don't. But if we could score it in the hole, which is right here where we're calling the game manager win hole script, this is a great spot to put it. This indicates when we have landed in the hole. So I'm going to put that on the first line. And we called this one in the hole. So in the hole, there we go. Save that. Go back into Unity and everything's going to be working great. So just give it a second to compile, and you should be able to hear this just fine. I have my audio turned up, so let's press play and let's take a shot, and you should hear the putt sound and the wall bounce. Sounding good. There we go. Let's do a few bounces. And you notice I'm not bouncing up in the air at all, which is good. And in the hole. Awesome. Okay, everything's working great. Sound effects are done. All right, last step is let's get this thing ready to submit. Now, what do we need to do? The most important thing is you're going to be renaming your scripts and doing a quick little tweak on these scripts here on 3 of the 4. Just really quickly to make it easier to read these, I'm going to hold Control and use my scroll wheel so now I can see all 4 names clearly. Camera Controller, Game Control, Game Manager, and the Golf Ball Controller. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. We need to rename 3 of these. Specifically the Game Control script, we are not going to rename. It is a singleton that you will actually be deleting before you submit your compressed asset folder. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to take this whole asset folder and you're going to compress it and submit that folder to me. This way it'll be much smaller. It will be less than a few megabytes unless you've brought in some significant materials from the asset store. I'll talk about that in a second. But we need to make these scripts so that we don't have duplicates. So if we all have camera controller scripts and I try to compile this into one Unity project, I'm going to have over 20 camera controller scripts with the same name. We can't have that. So in class, I have assigned you a 2-digit number. That 2-digit number ranges from 01 up to 25. And that's going to be being put at the end of these 3 scripts, namely the camera controller, the game manager, and the golf ball controller. We must make sure this way that your script is unique to your scene. Now your scripts are exactly as mine, but some of you have added extras and I can't have duplicates. So this is really easy to do. All we're going to do first is we're going to actually rename them in the folder here. So I'm just going to click on this once, go at the end, and for mine I'm going to use 99 as my example. Okay, so I'm going to put 99 at the end of this. You're going to notice it's going to recompile scripts. We're going to get some errors possibly. Don't worry about that. Just let it be. And hopefully this doesn't take too long. Only a couple seconds. Good. I'm going to do the exact same thing with Game Manager. Again, Game Control, leave it alone. Okay, hopefully you haven't added anything new in there. You weren't supposed to. It should be exactly the same as mine. So Game Manager 99. And then golf ball controller next as soon as this updates. And it hasn't kicked back to any errors yet, but if I tried to play, it would, because the names of these scripts do not match the name of the class. You can see over here with my mouse, it's still called golf ball controller, and I need to fix that. So each of these we're going to go in and do a couple minor tweaks. Let's open up the camera controller first. In camera controller, right at the top at your class, please put your 2 numbers. Mine is 99. Also down here, way before we did make a reference to the golf ball controller. We don't need that. We don't use it in the camera controller. Please delete it. Okay, that's all we need to do in this script. Control S to save it. And let's move now into our golf ball controller script. Let's do the game manager first. It doesn't matter what order we do these in. Again, we're going to tackle these one at a time. So now the Game Manager script, I'm going to double click on that to open that up. Game Manager as well with the name of the class. I'm going to put a 99 at the end. And also golf ball controller here, we do need to make sure, because we will be changing the name, so we need to put 99 at the end of that, because that is a public reference. It will throw back an error right now until I fix the golf ball controller. So that one is done. Nothing more to do in the Game Manager. So let's close that. And you see I'm getting this error. Don't worry, we're going to fix that right away. Now the golf ball controller, I'm going to open that one up. And here again, this will fix that error. I'll put a 99 at the end of golf ball controller. And notice Game Manager's having a problem now. We have to put the 99 there as well. And now I just press Control S. And everything should work without a single issue, which is great. So now, just to show you, I'll let the scripts recompile here. I'll press play to show that the game works just fine. We don't have any issues and we're ready to compress. So press play. So please test this after you've done all this just to make sure what you've done has not broken your game, because it's really easy to make a mistake here and everything's working perfectly. Now, one thing that did come up is that some of you were testing and your scores weren't updating properly. If you want to test this properly, what you do have to do is in File, Build Settings. In here, you'll have your scene. Mine's called Episode 9N because this is my last episode. But there will be a start screen, and we've coded this to assume there is a start scene or a start screen. So if you want to do that, just make a blank scene, which is totally fine. I have a scene just called sample scene, which is totally empty. I'm going to drag that scene in, and I'm going to put it first in the index. Okay, now you got to imagine when I compile this, this is going to have over 20 scenes down below here with an ending scene. So put the sample scene first. You can close it. And now when I test this, I could like add my scene. I could duplicate my scene to test it even further, but you don't need to do that. When I shoot this, let's see if I can get it in one shot. That'd be nice. Not hard enough. Oh, 2 shots. So pay attention to the score on the left. You can see updated to 2. It does kick this error because it is trying to build the next scene, go to the next scene, which is totally normal. That's how we coded it to make sure it goes to the next one. Attract my 2 strokes on my par 3. Make sure you've changed the hole created by and put your name in there, and then everything's good to go. All right, so now this is ready. How do we do this? Really, really simple. Here's what you do. Go back to your main asset folder, okay? And then you can click on any of these folders. This is a quick way to do it, or you can go and click on this folder. And when you right click, you'll get this option to show in Explorer. This is a great way to quickly find the window that I want. I click on that right there. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take this asset folder right here. Right click, and you're going to now send it to a compressed folder. Okay? This isn't going to do any harm to your game whatsoever. Now this folder right here is what I need you to submit to me. And notice, this thing is only 1,600 kilobytes. It's less than 2 megabytes, the entire scene, which is great. Now yours might be a little bit bigger, but it's not going to be that bad. Now, one thing I want to say though is that if you did bring in outside assets, okay, and you maybe brought in a huge folder of tons and tons of materials, if you did do that, please do your best to delete the stuff you didn't use, okay, to make this file as small as possible. If your file is, for some reason, bigger than 5 megabytes, please let me know and I'll come and help you make it a lot smaller. Okay, so that's it. That's all. Now all you have to do is take that compressed folder, which I'll go back. Here it is here. This is the compressed folder. Here's the path for my computer, but yours will be different. Yours will be in your D drive. That's what you're going to turn in to Google Classroom, is this little folder here. Please, if you would be so kind, instead of leaving it as assets, because everybody's is going to be named assets, put your name on it. So assets, and then all you got to write is Tyler Tronis, but your name, please. First name, last name, assets Tyler Tronis. And then I know whose is whose, and I can easily compile this in an epic golf course. We get to play everybody's hole in one shot and see who's the best 3D mini golfer in the class. That's it. That's all. We're done. Nothing else to add. Feel free to ask me any questions in class. We'll see you there.